evening mga kalaro and welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro lang channel where Sportitos talk about a different kind of game. The reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bisdak Joel Parcon, and with me as always is Vice Chief Bisdak Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
I want to get a Tesla. I want an electric vehicle.
An electric vehicle. That's something that they haven't done so far in this season. Maybe they're gonna bring back a vehicle and it's gonna be a Tesla. And we also have with us the man with the thoughts. Let's all welcome the one and only Martin. How are you doing, Marts?
Yeah, doing fine this Sunday night, and I'm glad we're all freshly shaven. All three of us.
Yes.
Nothing hiding in
no
plain
shave
sight.
November is all done. Tonight, the council takes a look at episode 11 of season 43 entitled Hiding in Plain Sight. And yeah, so we missed that.
It was hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. I attribute that to us thinking that the end tag is always a red herring and we don't really pay attention anymore.
Yes. I agree.
Yes.
I concur.
That is what happened, mga kalaro. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, guys. Let's go. What are your highs for this episode?
Ooh.
Let's start with Martz.
And I was high on the ass, man, and he delivered. Cody Assenmacher, man. This episode was like a highlight of the night because not only did he guessed, he got the advantage, but he guessed the winner right.
Yeah, he did.
Holy smokes, that was a big play. And it was so natural. Like he was just hiding, just like the advantage, it was just hiding in plain sight. So he hit it like from the the stuff of others. He just grabbed a tree, like if there's a tree here, yeah, like this one. I just hide it here, advantage here, and I was just talking to Gabler, man. That was pretty fun kind of way for him to get that.
Well, what do you think about that whole sequence of them not just seeing? A lot of them passed by it several times. I mean, Gabler, Cody even passed by it several times. I think Cassidy also passed by the advantage several times. What do you think? Is it really that hard to find that advantage?
I suppose the past 40 plus seasons, it has been like even way back in Survivor Guatemala when everyone was looking up or down, and the guy who was calling them all scumbags was trying to look the other direction, and then Gary Hogaboom saw him check it out, and it took them days before they got the first hidden immunity advantage. There's a callback to that.
Wow. There's also that element of color grading is a thing that exists. I forgot which of the podcasters mentioned this, but like color grading is a thing that exists. So I'm pretty sure, well, it could be that the blue on the advantage itself was less vibrant out there in the jungle. And it was only in post that they made the thing a little bit more blue.
So that us as TV audiences, as the audiences of the show, would be able to spot it and shout at the screen while the castaways were
pretty much. Basically, yeah. So like, they made it easier for us, right? And to Martin's high, I suppose I can also throw this in here. The fact that the episode title was not just some throwaway line, but was it served the dual purpose of Gabler saying that he's hiding in plain sight, along with the idol literally hiding in plain sight. So, it wasn't something that we had to find in a secret scene.
Yeah, it's not preposterous.
I'm not, I'm looking at you, preposterous.
We keep on going back to preposterous because it was one of the, it's been one of the worst titles so far. But they've been delivering the prod team, right? A lot of the more recent episodes, the titles have really factored into the episode. I guess that's working better now. Talking about the actual advantage, Am I right, Mr. Survivor Historian? Is this the first time that we're seeing this advantage? Marks, that's
Hell
you.
yeah.
What do
Like
you
this
guys
is
think about this this new
I like
advantage?
this. I like this advantage. It's like it gives you a it's like a pick'em, like it's not like fantasy NBA. It's more like who's gonna win in this game. And if you
Mhm.
win, compared to in real life, you get money from your friends when you guys are betting. This one you get the immunity because the guy won too. Or the gal, whoever you chose.
Mm.
So that
Yeah.
was pretty fun way of delivering it, but I don't know if we want to have this every season. Maybe back to
Ooh.
back, but not every season
Why not?
because
Why not?
people will expect. It's like the I don't know. This is the season that was filmed after the back to back of 41 and 43. I think they
Mm.
were expecting something in Advantage Island or something like I don't know, something like that,
Mm,
or the hourglass, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
What, the shillelagh of time?
The
Yeah,
shillelagh
the
of time, yeah.
Shillelagh time. No, it wasn't here. So yeah, maybe next season it would be nice to have it, but after that, no, let's
Do it in
skip it
back
a
to
bit.
backs. So 43 and
Yeah.
44
Yeah.
will have it, and then 45 won't have it again. They go
Mhm.
back to the shillelagh of time.
Speaking of the shillelagh of time, by the way,
Shillelagh.
our heroes over at the starters. I'm so happy they brought it up again. Like uh because was it Skeets or whatever? He was like
Oh, no
the
buffs.
yeah, the little blue thing looked like a watch. So
Mhm.
they were afraid that it was shillelagh adjacent
Shillelagh adjacent.
because it looked like a watch.
Yeah, yeah. It like had the circular thing in the middle, and it had a couple of things that looked like straps. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. Yeah. So they were kind of worry that it was going to be a shillelagh of time adjacent advantage
Yeah.
again.
But to to your original question about
Mm,
what I think about it, it's so much better than Do or Die. It's better than Do or Die, right? Because in
mm,
the last two seasons, Final Seven was the Do or Die twist,
mm-hmm,
which I really wasn't a big fan of. Making it more or less a game of chance, more than anything else, because Survivor in and of itself already has an element of chance in it when in an ideal world the game wouldn't have an element of chance. And so introducing that randomness in it just doesn't sit right with me. So it was better than that, but there was the observation made that this effectively gave Cody immunity because they didn't know who he voted for or who they thought would win until after the votes were cast.
mm.
So the smart play there would be to assume
Avoid,
that
yeah, avoid voting Cody. Mm,
avoid voting Cody. That's I'm sure there are uh I'm sure there are ways that they can um avoid that, right? Because essentially you just gave Cody de facto immunity,
mm,
Yeah, man.
right? And
yeah,
so, to this episode was very nearly because of that. It was very there was the potential for nobody being voted out,
yeah, yeah.
which I
Good.
guess
Well, this
which I guess
episode
is
was like a historic episode, because of so that would have just added more to it, I guess.
yeah. But I like the idea, like Martin. I like the idea, but it could use some, I don't know, just like
Twerk,
shot in the dark. It could use
twerking or
some
something.
work. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah,
tweaking. It
yeah,
it could be tweaked somehow. I don't know
yeah.
how. I'm not a game designer. I
we'll
am but a
we'll
lover of games.
yeah, we'll figure it out by when we end the season and we talk about our suggestions for future seasons. Anyway, before the advantage, I actually like the I don't know if that's ever happened before, the boat mail, and how it just told them there's a hidden advantage in your
Oh, dude, I
camp.
love that. I love that.
Go.
Go.
No,
I
I
love
wouldn't
that
know if there
sequence
was.
where they just got the message and they opened it up, they read it. There's a hidden advantage in your camp. Go, and then they all just went. That was so cool. That was something really cool for me. Yeah,
I was actually gonna mention that as one of my highs as well,
yeah.
and it made me feel something because that's how I dismiss my class. I tell them go, and like they all run out, especially if it's like lunchtime. Go, and I was like,
It tugged at the nostalgia,
yeah.
the recent nostalgia for Joe.
Reason nostalgia. I haven't been in a physical classroom since 2019,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
or
true,
early 2020 rather.
true. Okay, yeah. This is a question that I've got with you because it's connected to the advantage that Cody got. Who would you have chosen?
Oh, that's a really
Oh.
good question.
I mean, we could all like cop out and say, yeah, I would have chosen Owen. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, are you sure you would have chosen Owen? You
No,
don't
no,
want
no.
to choose the Ali
I
Gable?
I actually while it was happening, I already put down my notes, and I have two, because we know he Cody was told what the challenge was, right?
Yeah.
So I thought about, okay, who would do well in that challenge aside from Cody. I want to know yours first. Who would you have chosen? Who would you have chosen, Zhao?
I was I was it was a toss up between Sammy and Owen for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the reason that it was a toss up between Sammy and Owen was, Sammy, athletic guy, looks like broad shoulder. I assume he was, I assume he has good cardio,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
And Owen is a super fan, so
Oh.
you know, he's a super fan, and he's feeling, and he's also feeling the pressure of the game, right? Not being on the right side of the vote,
Mm-hmm.
really, since
Mm-hmm.
what was they said he said since the Mariah vote, but
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
because
then he
technically he wasn't on the right side of the vote with who was
with
that?
Janine,
With Janine, because he was just told last minute by Gabler.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Marts? Who would you have chosen?
Oh, for me, it would have been a toss up between Jesse or Cassidy, so I would have gotten it all dead wrong.
Why did you have those two? Why did you pick those two as
For
the
me,
possible winners?
Jesse would have been the same reason as Owen could do the whole water thing, and Cassidy has a shorter body type that could actually float, and it kind of screwed up when you watch the challenge. No, those are all wrong.
Yeah. So like I said, I did as when Cody opened up the advantage, I already typed
Yeah.
down the people that I would choose, right? So and the people that I actually took down, took note of were Gabler because he is
Hmm.
the alley Gabler, and Sammy out of desperation, just like Zhao. And
Yeah.
lo and behold, they're the first two that that went out. So I think that out of all three of us, I struck out the worst, because I got
Oh,
the
that's all
the
right.
two that got out. Yeah, yeah, I chose, yeah, out of desperation. I did think that Sammy was gonna hold on longer. But
Hmm.
it seemed to be, we can say it seemed to be because he's not in the game anymore. That he really was never a good challenge person.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so it didn't really. He couldn't hack the challenges. Yeah.
Apparently, and this is just something interesting that I'm throwing out there.
Mhm.
Apparently, something like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, or whatever, Owen made a post saying that he would have wanted to, if ever he got on Survivor, he would have wanted to get to win this particular challenge.
Wow.
Ooh.
So
Wow.
so they were like, yeah, they he called his shot like 10 years ago or something, and
Nice.
like ended up winning it, which makes it which, like, when you see how happy he is, it isn't only because he got the immunity,
Hmm.
but because this was literally something
A
that
manifestation of
was on
something
his
he.
bucket list or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if
Mhm.
like they pulled that from like the archives or something,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
went into the planning of putting up this particular challenge again. Uh, Apparently not the best place to do it, Fiji. Um,
But I gotta say, I love that they brought it back. I love that they
yeah.
brought this challenge back. What? Yeah. I don't know the actual name of the challenge.
Me neither.
Or was it Last Breath or something?
All I
Something like
know
that.
is this was when the season where Cochrane won it. That's what I
Hmm.
remember. I don't know.
No,
What year?
but what's the challenge actually called? That's what I'm asking. But I love the fact that they brought it back. And particularly with the challenge, right? I love how they were editing the challenge. It was
Oh,
like
Yes.
Last Gasp.
last gasp. There you go. The editing, especially with the music, right? With the scoring.
Mm.
When or yeah, when Jeff says it's all it's sometimes it's good to they love to revisit some of our old haunts, and then all of a sudden you got the nostalgic original Survivor theme song coming in. Oh hey oh yeah oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, whoa, as a fan of the show, you kind of like, yes, yes, yes. You bring in an old challenge and you bring in the original theme song that you don't use anymore,
Yeah.
unfortunately, which is like iconic. And also the even the editing, like when he says, you have to hold on until the swell comes, and then boom, the swell comes. So he
Yeah.
probably timed it like, okay, I see something coming in, so I have to say my line, right? But that was pretty cool. That was pretty. I loved the challenge, and I mean, yeah, I'm sure that the two of you also agree that the fact that Carla and Owen broke the challenge was such a cool thing to see, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I
Very
mean, there are a couple of things here that are both highs and lows for me,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one of those. The challenge itself was a high-low thing for me, some highs and some lows. By the way, just for the mga kalaro, when you heard Joel sing a snippet of the theme song, the reason it sounded so good is that this guy is one of the singers in the choir back in the day, and oh my god, they were really good choir. So like.
Thank you, thank you. Although I'm a bass, so I wouldn't like to sing those notes necessarily, but yeah, thank you. Thanks for the compliment, man. So anyway,
I
yeah.
mean, it was better when they were doing when they were saying the theme song, building that shelter in 41. Was it 41?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was 41. That was 41.
It was either 41 or I don't know, or it could have been 42. Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah.
so yeah, the
So
challenge and how Carla and Owen broke the challenge,
Yeah.
basically.
yeah, both a high and a low, both a high and a low.
Mm.
Oh,
A high
why
because
low? Why
wow,
low?
nice. But then it was also a low, um, because uh, the way that this challenge um worked in the past was huge swells really didn't come in with the tide. The
Mm.
tide would go up slowly, so
Mm.
it was um
It was a gradual thing.
yeah, it was a gradual thing, and it was like you could legit die if you hold on for too long.
Mhm.
With this one, the tide comes in and out, and like nobody's really in any danger of
Mhm.
dying, I guess. um but the fact that they were both able to outlast the tide means that there was something wrong with the challenge,
Yeah.
because
I yeah.
ideally this challenge, once the tide is all the way up, if you're still hanging on, you're hanging on as a corpse.
But yeah, I think that's the thing. It there's swells. They the tide didn't like stay up for too long,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, ideally when the tide is up, you should be submerged, so you'd have to you'd be forced to let go, right,
yeah.
for a really long time. But because the tide came in swells, after a while, although they did last like almost 3 hours.
3 hours. Yeah, three
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. I wouldn't last 30 minutes in that thing, even though
Oh
that
god.
yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
last 30 minutes in the challenge. Uh,
This coming from two people that like are from an island
yeah,
and
yeah,
are like 40 minutes away from the beach.
from any beach. Yeah. So yeah, your thoughts on the challenge and the fact that Owen and Carla broke the challenge, Marts.
Well, this is the first time in challenge history that there are two winners because, 2 hours and 45 minutes. But let me remind the audience watching or listening that on the 4 season run of this challenge, only one has yet to win their current season, and that was the first person to win this challenge back in Survivor Palau, Tom Westman. The other two, not so much.
So are we saying that we're looking at an O win?
There is a 33.3% chance in Steiner Matt. It's either Carla or Owen could win now.
Oh my god, I'm gonna talk about math later in the downs.
Okay, but before that, let's go on to other highs. What are other highs for you, Martz? Oh, sorry, Joe. What are your highs?
Owen's self-awareness.
Ooh,
This is like the second time that an Owen confessional just showed just how self-aware he is. And it's weird because we've been saying that self-awareness is one of those things that makes you a favorite to win. But Owen doesn't seem to be on the fast track to the million.
Okay.
But his self-awareness is amazing. Like being able to say, Martin was saying, it's the Charlie Brown edit. It's the Charlie Brown edit. Yeah. And then, lo and behold, like a few episodes later, I'm Charlie Brown. Like I'm getting the football taken away by Lucy. But, not only Lucy, but like Linus and Pigpen and
even Snoopy.
Peppermint Patty and mentioned the kid who plays piano.
Yeah.
Linus.
No, that's Schroeder. That's Schroeder.
Schroeder.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I ain't a good man, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Though you could play a Charlie Brown, Martz. Put on a yellow shirt with a squiggly in the middle. You'd make a good Charlie Brown.
That's a really good musical, by the way. Just on a tangent. Just saying, "You're a Good Man." Charlie Brown has one of my favorite songs in a musical of all time. The Kite.
Oh, yeah.
Also the one in school.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so that's my high. Owen's self-awareness and that confessional in particular, where he talks about how he is Charlie Brown while simultaneously getting the Charlie Brown edit. Like, good job, Owen. This is why he is a legend.
He's quickly becoming a legend. I dare say, is this them like really propping him up to like get that final victory in the end? Like beat him up emotionally, and then he makes a run for it to the final three, and he ends up getting the win.
Or are they setting him up for a returning season?
Oh, that could be the case as well. Ooh,
but
for 45, right?
No, they already put out a casting call, right? Like there was an ad in here. There was an ad in here somewhere, and like a couple of like last week or whatever, I checked the CBS website, and there was a casting call for Survivor 45. The prevailing theory, or was it it might have been fan fiction, was that 45 was going to be the returning season because they were late to ask for callbacks. I know they were late for audition calls. But apparently they're casting for 45. There was that one scene somewhere like that's usually taken by I don't know. There was one time it was taken by the octopus that Jeff came out and was like, "Hey, if you want to apply for Survivor, you go to the website." Okay. Oh. Yeah. Right. So there's going to be they're casting for 45.
Oh, all right. Okay. So we'll see when Owen comes back, if he comes back, if he doesn't end up winning. Anyway,
we are preempting one of our hopefully off-season episodes.
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully an off-season episode where we talk about who we want back. Anyway, other highs, Martz.
Well, for me, that's the only high I got.
Wow, so you only have Assman as your high.
Maybe just
you're really so loyal to Assman.
That's very Assman adjacent. So we go back to Owen because this is like a dream come true for him. So I'm high on that. Like he's high on the winning. He's also high on being part of Survivor history because he did like this thing.
Okay, so as Zhao said, just going back to what we talked about him winning the challenge. But aside from that,
nothing for me.
Okay, cool. For me, I just have like a couple more highs. They're they're Castaway centric as well. So yeah, I love Gabler. I love Gabler in this episode. He's playing the mid game really well.
Yeah.
And I loved his approach, although it didn't work. The LARP, the LARP line, the LARP walk. So yeah, so I loved Gabler in this episode, and I loved Carla in this episode because it was a new. We saw Carla in a new light because we've never seen her with her back against the wall,
Yeah.
and we started to see her actively trying to manipulate Cassidy, trying to figure out trying to manipulate Sammy and trying to figure out Cassidy, right? So I really love I like that. And one last high that I have is the thing about the metaphor, because we've got all of these metaphors, right? And then the metaphor of the surviving the high tide of Survivor, that then they connected. I don't know. I don't remember who said it. Maybe it was either
It might have
Sammy
been
or
Jeff.
Owen.
It was Jeff, right?
Was it Jeff? Yeah.
Jeff was the one that was like, Jeff was like, okay, children, this is how we have our metaphors.
This is how you use metaphors here in Survivor. So yeah, I like that. I like the fact that okay, that's one way of approaching Survivor. You just you go with the flow. You hold your breath when things aren't going your way, but when the tide goes down, you push again. So again, that's another thing. That's another detail that sort of clues in the idea that maybe Owen might walk away with this, because he's gotten past the high tide. So it's an Owen or Carla thing, and then but Owen has like a bigger. He's in the metaphorically the he's under the bigger tide right now, since he still hasn't really gotten a momentum in terms of being on the right side of the votes.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So our odds for an O win are going up.
Yeah, they're improving. They're improving.
Yeah, man.
All right. We should take note of this.
Yes. All right. Let's go ahead and go to the lows. Jao, what have you got?
I'm gonna have to say that Carla, the Carla edit to me came out of nowhere.
Oh, okay.
Right? Oh. Like, it was we saw her doing so well, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as a sort of flashback, we're seeing how how her game is actually falling apart in a way. Like that to me, that came out of that came out of left field, right? Because the past like 10 episodes, we've been seeing Carla being like a force to be reckoned with, and in these past 2 episodes, it wasn't that we were seeing like kinks in the armor, but rather we're seeing what feels like a 180 to me. Like we were singing her praises for like, oh man, she didn't tell anybody about the idol. I thought she lied to somebody about how
Lindsay.
Yeah, Lindsay. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I was under the impression she lied to somebody that Lindsay went home with the idol, right? Like, and apparently she told Cassidy. Like, really? When did this happen? Like that's the it came out of nowhere to me, right? Or maybe I'll have to look.
Rewatch
back at
the
episodes, but to me it just sort of came out of nowhere, which was kind of a low. Like bad on you production
for letting us hope that we'd get like this badass character who subverted expectations, but is slowly whose game is slowly blowing up.
Yeah, so like that was a bit of a low. That was a bit of a low for me.
I guess that I'm a little bit more forgiving because we did see in the previous episode that she wasn't necessarily on the right side of the vote at the start, right? At the start of the episode. And I guess that was the hint that they were dropping that, okay, this is Carla. Her game is starting to, it may have already peaked and she's on a downward trajectory now. So I'm a little bit more forgiving, and I like the fact I like the fact that we're seeing a different side of Carla
Mm.
for this episode. Hopefully she gets to bounce back because yes, it is a 180 in terms of how she's playing, but I want us at least we're seeing a different side of how she's playing.
Yeah.
That's why I still treated it as a high, but I understand where you can see where one can see it as a low.
Well, at least it's a 2-2-2 now. Like I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah. At least there's no tribal advantage now.
Yeah.
What about you, Marts?
That should have been my highs.
Well,
Yeah,
I
But it's
think
a
Cal
two
just
two
said
two.
it. I have to say, like, wow, it's okay to show Carla not being perfect, but not too much. Like, I think that was a bit too vulnerable to show Carla after like having a near under the radar kind of game, and now, oh wow, so she's panicking. Oh wow, so she can get
Yeah.
that tense too. Oh, okay, is this a good thing for her game? Because I didn't see this like during One World. Then again, kind of like One World where Kim won.
yeah,
She was also
yeah.
playing low key, a bit dominant. This one
Mhm.
was like, oh shit, I gotta vote. You know, this kind of vibe I got from her edit is kind of scary. It
Why?
reminds me way back from Africa when Lex got his first vote and he was trying to,
Why? What happened
suss
after
out.
that?
He was finding
Oh,
out who voted for
fell
him.
apart.
He was so, he was so paranoid.
Paranoid.
Mm.
But thank God, the one who voted for Carla here was a 19-year-old guy named Sammy, who, while he can play a bit more mature, eventually people put two and two together, and the people who they were with were too honest with their votes, like Gabler. So thank you, Gabler.
No,
So it
it
got
was
nipped in the
also
butt
yeah,
in the
it was
start.
Sammy who broke. He
Yeah.
couldn't keep up a lie.
So yeah, that was the good part here. But wow, had he stuck with the plan and not say it was his vote, who knows what Carla would have done, and that would have been scary for her, and that would have been one of the low lights. And the other lows, we go back to Sammy and say, "Wow, aren't you supposed to be this game bot who's like in the shadows trying to work with all the alliances?" And then he just effed up immediately from the start of the episode. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah,
know how you
I
felt,
see that.
if you guys felt that, like, oh, I'm gonna do this and that and this and that. Oh, I gave Carlo a vote. Oh, she's gonna run amok. And then a few hours later, yeah, it was me.
Yeah, that was so
Yeah,
weird.
he
It
got
was me.
caught
That
in a
was
lie.
so
It was
weird.
me. Like
The
what?
kid just got caught, but I don't
Double
think it was.
down,
I
boy.
don't think it was a couple of hours later. I think that it was like when they confronted him with the lie.
Okay.
He tried to throw Gabler under the bus, walks away,
And then Gabler was like, of course it
gets
will throw.
scared, goes back and says, "Okay, it was
It was
me."
like a few minutes later,
Yeah, because
Like,
basically.
they hardly moved. I mean,
all
the
right,
framing of the
the
shot was
frame.
practically the same. He basically just walked out of frame and he walked back into frame. Right?
Hmm.
So yeah,
And that was a fail. That was a fail.
yeah.
Uh,
His gameplay really he was a lot of it was all talk.
yeah.
Right?
Uh,
So
it's
Sammy.
it's it's like the factor about him being too young. Maybe he wanted to go big or go home. He went home.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like,
The thing
yeah,
is, he never
you were
went big
saying.
though.
Well, for him, he thought going big was like doing that and then take the shot in the dark.
The shot in the dark
That's
was the right call.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
it
Um,
right
was the
call
right
on his
call.
part.
But yeah,
yeah, the jury
speaking.
seemed to agree,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
the shot in the dark was the
They
right
were
call.
they were all rooting for him. Like, yes, Sammy, go, Sammy. All of those things.
Yeah.
Especially because remember in Tribal he questioned Carla about when he said that he was going to do his shot in the dark, and then Carla said that's sad or something.
Hmm.
That's disappointing or something, and then he goes like, why so? He was trying to bring out the fact that he was really the vote. He wanted to be and he wanted people to see that Carla, I guess that's part of the law that Carla let that out,
Yeah.
wasn't able
Yeah.
to keep it quiet about that, her
And
feelings about that.
Jesse also practically said the same thing.
Mm.
Because Jesse, uh, apparently one of the one of the unwritten rules of this particular tribe is that you don't play the shot in the dark. Because if trust is currency and the shot in the dark works and you go back to the camp, you have just demonstrated that you don't trust your team.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right. So that was one of their sort of unwritten rules that they had. It was in one of the exit interviews. I think it might have been like Janine or Dwight that mentioned that like that was one of the unwritten rules. And Jesse brought that up during Tribal. Right? Like he was saying, don't play the shot in the dark, bro, because if it works, you've just spent all of your, trust bucks.
Or even if, say, for example, if he's not safe, but he's not the vote.
Yeah. Right. So it's like, sorry.
So he erodes the trust that anyone would still have had with him. I mean, they all didn't trust him anymore at that point anyway.
Yeah,
but whatever whatever currency he still had, he would have like spent it already. Yes, yeah. So I get the logic of that, but then again, you're playing for yourself, so you can always do a bend and win all the way from the bottom. Right?
Yeah. And make it into fire, right? Because that was something that they made a point out of, right? Like how he was supposedly some fire wizard.
Yeah.
Or when
so his element is fire, not water. That's why he couldn't last in the challenge.
Exactly. I look back at the first episode. He was the one that started the fire.
Oh wow.
He was like, and he did it in just like one or two little.
Probably apparently he's probably just like a couple of years away from and graduated from scouts.
Yeah, basically. He was probably a Boy Scout, but apparently he's like some sort of fire savant, So like,
but then again, he does cremate pets, right?
Yeah, he does. He does.
So he probably like knows a bit about that.
I want to see in a returning season, Sammy and Hoboken Mike.
Oh,
the fire starter and the firefighter.
The firefighter. That might be fun TV. Yeah. Well, for Milo, I actually have the shot in the dark as well, while it was played correctly, right? It was played correctly, but it just has not worked from a TV point of view. It just has not worked.
Yeah.
Right. Zhao, we talked about this in after I think one of our episodes where we were talking about how we can things that we can suggest to make the show better.
Yeah.
And yeah, we talked about the shot in the dark die not really having anything to do with calling whether you're safe or not, right?
Yeah.
So
we don't even get to. They don't even roll the die.
Yeah, they don't roll the die. Just drop it in, get a parchment, and then they give the parchment to Jeff. Right? That's so weird. And you say that you've got a 1 in 6 shot, why not just like really have like instead of the what was that? The do or die, right? So you have 5 skulls and 1 fire in the emblem, and then you really actually roll it in front of. It's sort of like do or die, but you actually roll a die, right?
Yeah.
In front of the tribe. You roll it, and the result is shown.
So, in this era of similes and metaphors, the show itself seems to do really bad with them. Like turning back time does not mean breaking an hourglass with a shillelagh.
Yeah.
Right. The shot in the dark. Like the die really doesn't have. It doesn't really serve its visual sort of purpose there.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, they've retired the shillelagh of time, so maybe this will be their cue to retire the
shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Well, one of the ways that the survivor community, the online survivor community is suggesting they fix the shot in the dark is every time it plays, or every time you play it, the odds get better until it becomes a 50-50.
We talked about
that.
We
talked about that as well.
We talked about it too.
After you play it once, fails. All right, next time it's a 1 in 5.
It's 1 in 5.
And fails to 1 in 4, until it's like a 1 in 2, and until it hits.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 1 in 2 until it hits, and then after that, or if it hits, you go back to it being a 1 in 6. Like that would probably entice them to play it a bit more, be a little bit more strategic with it, and we might end up with a surprise immunity. But the surprise immunity is one of my lows.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
So go ahead.
Right, because two people winning the two people
challenge?
winning the challenge. No bueno. it gave Cody a 1 in 3 shot of getting immunity. Right? Because there's 7 of them. He had to bet on one. He had to bet on one of 6, which is shot in the dark odds.
Yeah.
1 in 6. In fact, better because he already comes in with knowledge of whatever. Right? He comes in with knowledge. So if it's a complete crapshoot,
was it
it's a
power?
Yes.
Ooh.
If he come in a complete crapshoot, it's 1 in 6. But because he already had knowledge, he got the power of immunity.
Yeah.
But then with 2 people winning, effectively his odds were 1 in 3, which is which are the odds that saved Deshaun, which are the odds that saved Lindsay. So it was basically shot in the dark odds for Cody. But then with 2 people winning, it ends up becoming a 1 in 3, which is the odds that saved Lindsay in 42 and the odds that saved Deshaun in 41, right? So
this still ended up as it
still ended up as a shot. It still ended up with a do or die, but instead of going home, it's immunity. So it's like the die or do,
Die or do.
It's the inverse of it. I don't know, but yeah, that kind of sucked. I don't know, and the fact that 3 people were immune that night, there were 4 people,
and potentially 4,
right? 4 people that could be voted out, 3 idols and 1 shot in the dark.
Yeah,
but there was the chance that everybody was immune that night.
Yeah, if Carla had played her. If all the hidden immunity idols would have been played as well.
Holy smokes, it would have been advantage again.
It would have not really, because
not even,
nobody would have been voted
worse. out. Nobody would have been voted out.
Oh snap!
What would have happened there? Everything is called off. They go to rocks, I guess.
Maybe it's gonna be a rock off,
right? And even those who were the 2 challenge winners will be vulnerable again, I guess.
What I would like to see, if something like that ever did happen, Jeff says, "All right, hey, congratulations, cool, but the monster is hungry."
Yeah,
and
so the next episode will be a double elimination.
Wants 2 heads for the price of 1.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting, right? From a final 7 to a final 5 in one night.
Yeah. Right. That would have actually been cool if that happened. It would have made this episode even more iconic, right?
Yeah.
You had a new advantage come in. The challenge was broken. The shot in the dark finally came through, and then nobody gets voted out.
That would have been amazing. We would. This would have been keeping me up at night for like a week. I'd be like, "Oh my god!" Waking up in the middle of the night. Oh my god! My wife was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? The shot in the dark."
It finally came through. All right. So yeah,
that would have been great. But instead, we got a unanimous Sammy goes home, which is all right. But that was. I suppose the low was it didn't turn out like that, and because it didn't turn out like that, it was boring.
It had the potential to be something. It was good, but it could have been better. As the lone good line from Wonder Woman 1984. Anyway,
I wonder.
Yeah,
I wonder which of the different universes that Doctor Strange saw was the one where that played out.
We never know. He did say there was just one where they could win. They probably didn't win in that universe. Anyway, Lawrence, any other lows for you?
Yeah, that's it for me.
That's it for you.
Sammy and Carla.
Okay. Joe?
And we have another sort of cliffhanger. This is just like a little tiny thing, a little tiny nitpick. There's a little bit of a cliffhanger. Mike tells Mike told Owen, "Hey, I got a plan to get us to the final 3," and we never got the plan.
Stick to the plan.
Wait, Mike?
Yeah, Gabler was like, "I have a
Gabler.
plan to get us to the final 3," and what was the plan? Who's the third in your final 3 that we envision?
Yeah.
Or is, like, I'm sure he must have followed that up with, and it goes something like this, and then like he does this whole Gabler thing, and
Does he also get the Jesse edit with the plan?
That kind of
that would have been amazing, right?
Yeah, that would have been cool.
But unfortunately, we got that as a throwaway line, which is something that could pay off later.
Yeah.
Which
There's a chance.
Again?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna delve into it a little bit more in the next section of our show.
Ooh.
So any other lows?
Yeah.
Let's find out the lows.
It's I don't know. It's another one of those things where I don't know if I like it or not, but yeah, setting up stuff like that.
Without paying it off within the episode.
Yeah, without paying it off within the episode.
Or at least giving us a little bit more to like chew on.
Yeah. Like we have to look back on episodes again. Like, I don't know. That's something that I'm still not sure if I like. It feels like they're making television that's meant to be binged.
Ooh.
Right?
It's not really like a weekly thing now for you. That's the feel.
Sort of, right? Because look at what happened with Carla, right? I suppose I hesitate to call it a downfall, but the sort of weakening of Carla would have played better if it was done in a binge and not we had like 4 or 5 weeks to sort of take it apart and dissect it, right? So they're making binge TV, which whatever. And sort of related to that, the way they presented the choose your champion advantage. I've said this before. I like dramatic irony. I don't want to know when it's revealed to everyone who Cody voted for. I want to know who he voted for when Cody voted for or chose Owen. That gives me something to look out for in the immunity challenge.
Oh, so they're gonna try to win against Owen. Had it been another challenge or like
No. When did we find out that Cody chose Owen?
Right there when he wrote the name of Owen. Right? I saw him writing Owen's name.
Yeah. Okay, must have been in the bathroom.
I thought that you were saying that you would have wanted it to come out. You would have not wanted to find out that he had chosen Owen prior to the challenge.
Yeah.
All right. So because I missed that, we now have a natural experiment, and I'm telling you guys, it sucks. It makes for horrible TV. Again, dramatic irony is good. We know, and they don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if CBS is listening, and we assume that they always do, just a couple of notes for you guys. And here are some other notes, some predictions that we would like to see in the future episodes. So let's go ahead and start with Martin. What are your predictions for the upcoming episodes?
Yeah, I'm gonna get this wrong again, but at least
not the line yet.
Not the line yet.
Not the line yet. Other predictions.
Well, for me, it's the final 6. So it's scrambled season. It's gonna be the last time they're gonna use the idols, right? Final 6.
This is 5. Last until final 5. Yeah.
Oh damn! Final 5. Okay. Well, maybe it's a bold prediction, but one hidden immunity idol is going to be played.
Just
one.
Okay, so let's make it interesting. Martin says 1.
I'm
going to say that all 3 are played.
Oh,
I actually kind of agree with that.
Okay, I'm gonna say that only 2 of them are played then.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got Martin with 1, Ja with 2, and then I say 3. All right. Let's see who gets it. And then all of a sudden, nobody plays an immunity idol. All right. So
Oh.
yeah. So any other predictions
I was gonna say the
aside from the
line.
line?
I was gonna say the term. I don't know why, but I have a feeling.
What?
Telenovela. Telenovela.
Okay. So we go to the whose line is it actually? So the title of the next episode is telenovela. Who
Carla,
do we
better be
think is
you.
gonna say the line, and what is it all about?
It's, it's either gonna
Better
be
be her.
no. It better be Carlo or Jesse.
Well, for me, Carla. Better be Carla. Come on,
About
Carla.
what?
About what's going on right now in the final 6, because even her and Cassie think they're being there's a clash there now. Apparently, there's a telenovela in this island.
Yeah, because
Stuff
the
like that.
the impressions that we're getting, the impression that we're given, is that Jesse and Cody are tight.
Mhm.
Gabler and Owen are,
Marriage of convenience.
yeah, they could be tight, but we're
Mhm.
already seeing friction between Carla and Cassidy,
Mhm.
or there's paranoia coming from Carla, so there's the potential for friction between Carla and Cassidy. But then at the same time, they also have to deal with everybody else. It's kind of like I don't know, like the protagonists couple, whatever, like Maria Clara and
Ooh.
Don Emilio, like having their own little issues while fighting against, like, Doña Maria, and like it's like a telenovela in that way.
Yeah.
You have the internal pressures and you have the external pressures,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I'm just trying
And
to.
then all of a sudden, we find out that Cody is a telenovela fan.
Yeah,
He's the one
Damn it,
that talks about
man.
it.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
probably like, I have some Filipino friends, or I have some Latino friends in Hawaii that really like telenovelas. That's what
No,
this
it's
feels
more
like.
likely that he's got Filipino friends in Hawaii because there are a lot
Yeah,
of Filipinos in Hawaii.
In Honolulu, there's a lot.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm pretty sure he sold him a bunch of elevators.
Made out of coconuts, most likely.
Made out of coconuts, made out of spam.
Made out of spam. Yeah, for me, since you guys are like saying that it's more likely Carla, I'll go the other side. I'll go with Jesse. I think that it's Jesse's gonna say the title telenovela,
Mhm.
but I think it's going to be about it's gonna be an observation about what's happening to Carla.
Ooh.
Right,
Okay.
because there is a relationship between Jesse and Carla, and then Jesse would probably be seeing that, and maybe it's something. It might be another one of his plans, like he wants to create a telenovela
Mm.
vibe around Carla, so that she panics. Because I think that this is going to be the episode that they're gonna really target Carla. I think that this is because they wanted to do that this episode. Jesse wanted to do that this episode. He wanted to
Mm.
take out Cassidy. It's just that Cody was adamant about taking out Sammy, right?
Okay.
So I think that Jesse for this next episode, he's gonna talk about, oh, I'm gonna create it's gonna be like a telenovela, and we're gonna create friction between Carla and Cassidy, yada yada yada. So basically, I think it's gonna be like the two duos going up against each other, and then you've got Owen and Gabler. Gabler teaching Owen the way of the alley Gabler, and then they just go down, go down underneath in the middle. That might be the plan.
That might be his
Resurface
plan to
only
get
when
to the final
necessary.
3.
Yeah. So yeah, go down. Just let them eat each other up, and then after that, the two of them resurface, and then end up in the final 3, right?
Right. In,
So
in, in that case, I'm gonna go for the wild card and say that Owen gets
the line.
the line. Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Talking specifically about Coco and Vessi, or talking
Mhm.
about the duo of Carla and Cassidy, and Cody and
Cody and
Jesse
Jesse
going at
going
it.
up.
He's what's it? Owen is going to say it's like I'm watching a telenovela. Right.
Yeah.
So that's the wild card prediction.
Yeah, there you go.
I like doing the wild card predictions. Like this one, Cassidy is going to win the next immunity.
There you go.
Ooh.
Cassidy with the next immunity. All right. You think Cassidy? Oh, of course, I'm still going with my man Gabler. I still hope that he gets to win another immunity challenge, just to further augment his Ali Gabler vibe. Right. Any other predictions, guys?
Well, if you're getting Gabler and Zhao's getting Cassidy, oh wow. Will Owen have an immunity run? I guess so. Let's go for Owen.
I want an Owen immunity
win for
run.
Owen. Owen.
Nice. Okay.
That being said, though, Jesse is still my canonical winner pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and Gabler is still mine. And I suppose Martin, you're still an ass man guy.
No, remember I picked Jesse way before.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Alright.
I shouldn't be calling him Jesse. I should be calling him Dr. Lopez.
Why? Oh, because he's got
Because he's a PhD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, Dr. Lopez is still my canonical pick.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. All right. So that's it for our predictions and stuff we'd like to see in the next episode. We now go to our survivors of the week, starting with Castaway of the Week.
Oh,
Who you got, guys?
yes, man. Cody.
Cody, you've got Cody.
Guessed it right? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he found the advantage and guessed it right.
Mhm.
All right.
I'm
what about you,
gonna go for Owen.
Mhm.
So you have the Cody Owen pie here.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah. So me, actually, I also went for Owen because he started yet again at the bottom. He had that emotional thing where he threw his bag in the beach. He had that whole Charlie Brown testimonial, and I think that he really needed this win. Not necessarily because he was on the outs or he was in danger of getting voted out, but he needed it emotionally. He needed to win this emotionally. And going back to what you said, Zhao, that he already called this shot like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That makes it further solidifies the case that for me that he is the Castaway of the Week. For me. Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's go to the GOAT of the week. Who was the GOAT of the week?
Is there?
Who
I
or
don't
what
know.
was the GOAT of the
Oh,
week? Where was the GOAT of the week?
Why is the GOAT of the week? You can tell we're Marvel fans, or you can tell we're comic book fans, and comic book movie fans.
man.
Yeah.
Who you got?
The GOAT of the week. Right now it's Carla.
Mm-hmm. Why so?
But then, because right now they all seem to have a pretty good shot at the end.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Mark? Who's your
They
GOAT
all
of the
have a
week?
shot.
Well, I don't know if Sammy's gone because he got voted out.
Sammy, because he got voted out. All right. So he played the worst game. Well, if you get voted out, I guess you.
I mean, yeah. So if we're talking about who lost the week and not who we're going to be taking to the end, definitely Sammy, because like that was. I mentioned this in our last episode, perhaps maybe that he was giving me zero vote finalist vibes.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, at any rate, he still would have been GOAT of the week. Yeah. Yeah. For me, I also have Carla as my GOAT of the week. I have here in my notes. For some reason, I'm getting more of the Carla train as a GOAT. I think she's been lucky to have gotten the hidden immunity idol. But it seems more and more that Cassidy is the driver of their duo. Especially with the way that Cassidy's been carrying herself recently. She's the one who was more vocal about we need to stand up for the women. We can't have another woman getting voted out, but they did vote out Noel the last episode. But it seems to be that she is the more visible. It might also be Carla again, trying to hide in plain sight, as the title also suggests. But right now, with how she's being portrayed, like what you said, Joe, it seems that Carla is, at the very least, in the final 6, she is currently the GOAT.
I found it really funny, right? There was that line where Cassidy was like, "I want there to be 2 girls at the end or 2 women at the end," and then like awkward pause. Carla was like,
yeah. the gears were running in her head. Can I trust her? can I really trust
Who
her
are the
right
other
now?
women here?
Yeah.
Is it just us? Oh, okay.
Oh.
I want to vote you out.
Do I have an out here? I don't think so. All right. Anyway, so let's go straight away to our purple of the week.
I don't know. I noticed all of them. Is there
You-
even a purple this week?
You noticed all of them. Okay.
You know, I would like to apologize to Sammy's letter because that's what I called the purple of the week last week.
Yeah. But yeah, they did hold it out because they probably saw a better opportunity to show it this week.
Yeah,
For this one.
Yeah.
it
But
was
still,
signed
I
from
mean, you're
your mom.
justified. You're justified in saying that it was purple of the week last week because it we didn't see it. We didn't see it. So yeah, that is what we call like
That was
the
our
criteria for
canonical.
us
Yeah,
calling it a purple of the week. Yeah.
yeah.
For me, the purple of the week was apparently the last gasp is not as dangerous as we all remember it to be. So the danger of the challenge, that was my purple of the week. Right? Because I remember it being a very torturous challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, for three of them to last over 3 hours in it, and two of them actually breaking the challenge. I mean, that just I guess it's time to retire it or wait for or move to a location that has high tides for hours.
Maybe not Fiji.
Yeah.
Right. I go back to maybe they thought about it. They thought about doing this after that. Remember the challenge in 42 where none of them could stay on top of that triangular thing where they had to stay on top. And it was only Jonathan Young who could stay on
Jonathan,
top because he was Jonathan.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
probably why. Okay, so we got really bad high tides here. We should bring back that old challenge.
God though. I think it was the opposite, right? They were looking for a place that didn't have such a rough high tide. Because the way that Last Gasp works is the tide has to come up slowly.
Yeah, yeah. They probably
So
just
that was the slowest
miscalculated.
place. Yeah. Yeah. My
Yeah.
purple of the week, by the way, is the football.
The football.
Football.
We see? Oh, sorry. Charlie Brown's football. Charlie Brown's
okay,
football.
okay. That was good. That was good. Okay, Charlie Brown's football. Yeah.
Or Owen's football, as the case
Owen's
may be.
football. Yeah, but he came through though. He was able to kick it past the goalpost with a challenge win. And Lucy, he won it with Lucy, because if you notice, he when he said Lucy, it was right. Oh no, Lucy was Cassidy. Linus was Jesse.
Yeah.
Pigpen was Cody.
Cody.
That's too funny. And Peppermint Patty was Carla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there, man. That's, you know.
Yeah.
This is what purple of the week devolves to at the end of the season, and I like it.
Yeah. This is how we do things here on the Council of Titos. So, any other thoughts, guys, about this episode?
Not a bad episode. Not a bad episode.
Very good.
It's the episodes have been progressing, continuously improving. For me.
I think this episode, could have been. It was a good episode. I didn't like the way it ended. Like I said, like there was a line that could have been so much more exciting. Right, too much immunity, like all of that. But an otherwise really good 45 minutes, hour of television.
Yeah, it was good, but it could have been better. All right. Okay, and so if there are no other thoughts from our council, that is it for this episode of the Council of Titos. If you liked our video, hit the like button so we don't get voted off the channel. Also consider hitting the subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll get notified whenever we have new content here on the Laro-Laro Lang channel. This channel has other shows on it focused on sports and other similar things. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs while we talk about Survivor, you can catch us wherever you have your podcasts. Just search for Council of Titos and you'll hear us talking about Survivor. Anyway, this has been Chief Bizdak Joel Parcon.
I'm Zhao. I
And
promise
Martin.
I live on an island and I can swim.
Oh, I see. And I, Martin, I do not have a football where I can not kick it when someone pulls it out of my way.
Anyway, we hope that you can join us again on the council soon. Until then, stay safe, everyone. The Titos have spoken.